Welcome to the show, Yahoo Unusual. Latest cases of COVID-19. Here we go. We are now at 38,879 in Oasis County, plus 98, which is up to 39,741 deaths. State of Texas, 2.75 million, plus 3901. And the deaths, 47,365, plus 166. Which now happens at 47,400. United States, 29.8 million plus 60,495 not recovered. As well as in Oasis County, the state of Texas, 521K deaths, 69 million recovered, 122 million, and 2.69 million deaths. What about the vaccinations? See from the graph, the line goes straight up. So far, 3,031,660 people of the pop. Only 10.4% have been fully vaccinated. 20% have had at least one dose. That's for the state of Texas. Now for California. 1.21 million plus 853. For Los Angeles County, 22,722 plus 84, 3.64 million plus 3564, 57,391 plus 235. California, 9.3 million, 23% of the population, 11% of the fully vaccinated population. So, that's basically for the vaccination and the COVID. So, I mean, and this just came to me before I left for work. For the school children, they're going to be social distancing from 6 feet to 3 feet. And I'm looking at it, it's like, that's great, but still, from 6 to 3 feet, that's probably going to be an issue. I mean, you're still probably going to get COVID from that, but that's a good way to go. As long as you wear a mask, that's great. But for all the others, they still have to be 6 feet. Won't everyone else get jealous? Well, probably. Will there still be fights happening? Probably. But the main thing that has to happen here is that we're all in this together. We have to do our part to make sure that we're safe, and I have to do my part as well. So we all have to do the same part by doing these things. Masks, as I've been telling you, at the bridge of the nose. Not down the nose, not down the chin. It has to be up here. I know it's hard to speak and breathe, but we all have to do it. If your work mandates you do it, then your work mandates you do it. No argument. You want to quit? That's your choice. You want to work from home? Then that's your choice. Your child wants to do remote learning, that's your choice. I'll get to that in just a sec. Social distancing. If you're in school, they say you stay within 3 feet, 3 feet. As well as the other places, they mandate you stay in 6 feet. Markings on the ground, you don't see any markings on the ground, you walk away. Or at least try to be 6 feet. Or put your arm out and say, please be within 6 feet. Wash your hands every 20 seconds. That kills germs. And always disinfect your area at all times. You've got baby wipes. You've got disinfectant spray. That helps. If you have a medical condition, you let them know beforehand so that they can understand that, oh, he or she has a medical condition, they cannot wear a mask, so on. But they make you wear a mask, then you wear a mask. No excuses. You argue about it and leave. Now going to the school. If your child decides to do in-person learning, then it has to be the same. They still have to wear a mask and stay 6 feet. Follow the rules. The same rules like I'm applying here. And like I've been telling you, I mean, no visitation is allowed. They call parents in and bring them lunch. That's prohibited. And if you have student ID, that's going to help. And if you have your student ID, it's going to help also. That's to minimize the use of keypad. No, and also the big important thing: no lunch delivery will be allowed here from an online source from parents. No visitation is allowed. If you ride the bus, you're going to be required to have a face mask or a face shield on and sanitize your hands at all times. That's that. And if you have the symptoms of COVID, you need to let your teacher know or go straight to the nurse immediately. Just let your teacher know beforehand. Also, if your child decides to do remote learning, parents, you need to listen. You need to monitor your child at all times, making sure that they're on that computer during that time. On the computer or the iPad, doesn't matter. Also, if your child does decide to do that, you need to make sure that they're on that computer during the hours. If they're not, if they leave, then if they skip class, skip the remote learning, then you need to make sure then you'll let them know. What I recommend that you do is you download the Life 360 app. Trust me, it helps me, it helps my mom, and it should help you and your child. It helps me out a lot. So just try to take this very seriously. Alright, in 60 seconds, the American Bank Center will be back in action with indoor events now that the virus has cooled down. Also learn how you can sponsor a graduate within Robstown ISD. Plus, a ski jet accident sends a person to the hospital. Learn how you can prevent jet ski accidents in the near future. Now the latest on the jet ski accident that happened on Padre Island near the JFK Causeway. I mean, it happened about 2 p.m. at the bridge near Market 37. I mean, people were sent to the hospital, but no, and that person was severe injury. The other person did not have the injury. It's just minor. But jet ski accidents happen because of children. But how can you avoid the jet ski accidents? But water sports are a great way to relax and with your children, to create memories, to encourage your children to spend time out in the sun and fresh air. If some are flying with jet skis, you need to understand and follow certain jet ski safety tips. Many adults in this area don't understand the hazards of potential jet accidents of a personal watercraft. They're not trained. Here are some basic accident safety tips to follow. Those include: don't operate a jet ski unless less than 2 feet of water. Be aware of all objects all around you, including docks, objects under the water, and boats or other watercraft in the area. Wear proper safety gear when riding a jet ski. That includes a life jacket, wetsuit, gloves, and eyewear. Wear shoes that prevent slipping on wet surfaces such as dock shoes. Attach the cord connected to the stop switch with your wrist or life jacket. Always make sure any passengers are aware you are getting ready to move and are prepared to move. If your child is experienced operating jet skis, you need to have adult supervision at all times. And there are also state laws going to PWCs. It's a safety course that'll teach them a regulation your state regarding operating jet skis water. States have often speed and proximity limits for jet skis. When learning state laws and regulations with your child safe and avoid personal watercraft accidents when they're on local lake. But in this case, I don't think that in this case here, I don't think those people were underage. And there are videos that explain this, and but the cause of it is recklessness, excessive speed, stunts, jet ski designs, experience, and or distracted driver, operating under the influence of alcohol and drugs, dangerous weather and weather conditions, water sports, and the lack of jet ski safety equipment. What is the safety equipment for jet skis? Here, this is the most important gear you need. You need a registration number. This is a list of the most common jet ski accessories you need on the water if you'd like to know more about each item. But we're going to tell you right now. The registration number, the ID card, you need a jet ski license. That's very, very important. You need life insurance, fire extinguisher, air horn, safety lanyard, an anchor, bludge pump, flashlight, knife, paddle, ropes, flares, a radio, map, compass, safety kits, and so on. Where is it required, and how can you get a jet ski license? Do you need a license to drive a jet ski? Absolutely. In many states, be aware it's required to be licensed in many states. When others, there's no requirement at all. It all depends on how old you are. Like in my last video where we talked about ATVs, you have to be 16 or older to drive it, because children are in risk danger. But in 2012, PWCs were involved in 90% of boating accidents. Tiny vessels sharing the waterways, boats or large, it's important to know how to operate jet skis safely. Over 40 states in the U.S. alone establish educational requirements. But do you have to have a boating license? Yes, you do. The type of vessel, length of vessel, driver's license, supervision, license owner, the age and the age. If you do not abide these requirements or do not have a license, you will be fined by law enforcement. And you can also get your ski license online. New York, California, New Jersey. I don't know, in some states you may have to look at California. You need a jet ski license in Texas. You were born and to be licensed in jet ski in Texas. You have to pass a boating and safety course. You take this course, you need to be at least 13 years older, but you don't have to be a resident of Texas. That's the rules for all states. That's the latest on the jet ski act. That's the latest on the jet ski accident. Well, with COVID dying down, the American Mexican is going to be back in action with indoor and outdoor events. Sounds like some pretty good deals to me, but there still need to be social distancing requirements. They're required. We won't have full capacity until next year, to the end of the year. So by the end of the year, we could be able to relax. But until then, like I say, you still have to follow the social distancing guidelines. And if you weren't Fire Bluffing back on Wednesday, you may have seen a fire accident at a trailer. I was trying to figure out where it was, but then it got me. The one place it didn't look was at a trailer. I thought the smoke was coming from my house, from my studio, and then all of a sudden, the one place it didn't work was at the trailer. It was at Redmond. That's the place that's where I forgot where it was. That's why I forgot. Well, coming up, are you thinking about filing your tax return? There are new considerations added for those affected by COVID-19. Not only because of the winter storm, but there are also some considerations regarding COVID-19. We're going to tell you about those new considerations after the break. With all the big freeze happening in COVID, are you still worried about filing your taxes? That's why I'm here to help. But not only do Texas have until June 15th because of February's severe winter storm, there's also considerations regarding COVID. An instance, what if you lost your job in 2020 and took unemployment benefits? Do you still owe taxes on that money? Yes. But Tax Pro says that late last week, a new benefit came as part of a relief bill. That new update is up to $10,220, $10,200 per person, not be taxable. But if you already filed your 2020 return and missed out on this benefit, you can still come back to 2 years later and amend the return. But the stimulus checks are taxable? Nope. But of course, that money is yours. Many of us had to set up home offices and work over there last year. Can you get a break from that? The tax 6% unless you are self-employed, you're on your own. So if you're doing YouTube, so if you're a YouTuber and you're making over $600 per views, I think YouTube takes 45%, IRS takes it, so you're up to $660. If you miss any deduction that are yours to take, you cannot depend on the IRS to find it for you. And coming up Monday, I might have to coming up Monday, I'm going to talk with Bill Clark or any other professionals at Tax Pro to give you guys some advice on how you can file your taxes, or if you miss out on any, so that you can get back up to speed. Because let's face it, we're getting through this winter storm. We're getting through this COVID crisis. We all have to do our part. And we have to stay safe, file our taxes. We have to do the same. Now going back to the COVID crisis, like I said earlier, CCISD. All schools are now doing their social distancing thing, and the CCISD responds to new CDC social distancing guidelines in schools. Here's what they have to say. They said in a statement, and I quote, CCISD is studying the updated guidelines and continuing to monitor local conditions. Any changes for students will be gradual to all protocols for adults to remain in place. We will review the current CDC guidelines to gauge how it fits into our established protocols to safeguard health while supporting learning. It's their choice, so if they say no, we have to stay 6 feet, then we have to stay 6. Then you have to stay 6 feet. No excuses. So yeah, that's basically what we've got here. We've got people who are staying that are going 3 feet apart. So that's basically what CCIC is going to be doing. What about all the other schools? We don't know. Back in a moment with a special program from Robstown ISD. You don't want to miss this. Some great news from Robstown ISD. They're doing their own program called Sponsor a Senior or Sponsor a Graduate. What that means is it's for seniors that cannot afford a cap and gown. So I'm proud for Robstown ISD for doing this program. I hope it really helps. That discount is going towards it's going down from $80 to $30. So I'm really happy for their plan. I really hope this plan goes towards all the other schools in Corpus Christi, like CCISD, Flower Bluff, because there's some of the students who have gone through COVID and big freeze and all that stuff. They don't have the kind of money for the gown. I mean, they gotta work well in school to get that. They gotta work well in school to get that cap and gown, and then the principal's like, "Why are you working well in school?" It's like, "So I can get my cap and gown." And that's why this program for the school should really help. And if you want that, you gotta get on the phone. If you want that program to happen, get your phone, get your local school board, and say, "Hey, we need a program called Sponsor a Graduate." Send them an email and say, "Hey, we need to sponsor a graduate." All the students and parents that are on that program, they get that discount. And that program's going to help all the students out get their cap and gown because they cannot afford it. If it doesn't work, then they're going to go back to the old ways, working well in school. We cannot have that happen. We need that program. And I'm proud of Robstown ISD for getting that program on there. That's all for this edition of Give You a Break Friday going to Saturday. We'll see you again tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow for Give You a Break Saturday. Bob is here at YouTube. Have a great night. Take care of yourself and each other. Good night, everyone.